John Polstra from the Openshift team. Today I am joined by Alexa Hollis, Nick Harvey, and Krrish Submaranian. Alexa is going to tell us what's new in the Openshift app gallery as well as upcoming events. Krrish will tell us what he's seen in the cloud computing platform as a service industry as a whole. And Nick will wrap up with what he saw in the latest release and what you can see too. So first we'll go over to Alexa with the Application Gallery Developer Spotlight and the events coming to locations near you.
Yep, so hey everyone. First of all, I just want to talk a little bit about some new entries that we've had in our OpenShift app gallery since the last Google Hangout that we had. So just to kind of scroll through, we have this app called Fast News where you can just share news that you like with other people. This one's pretty cool, this DOD Stat, I think that's how you say it. It's actually an app for tracking statistics for the Professional Call of Duty League. Then we have this app Xmerge, which helps you easily merge your data in Excel or your CSV file, whatever you're working with. So the reason that I want to point these out is just, to show all the options and all the unique ideas that people are coming up with to build their apps on OpenShift. So anytime you want to check these out yourself, they're at openshift.com/application gallery. If you want to just go look and maybe see what other people are doing and get some ideas, or if you would like to submit your app, we would love to feature it on our website. You just simply go to this Apply Now link and fill out a few questions. It'll send us an email, and then we'll get back to you about featuring your app on our site. So the next thing I wanted to talk about are some upcoming events that OpenShift will be present at. The registration is open for all of these events, so if you're in the area or close to the area, we'd love to see you at these events. So we have OSCON coming up July 20th. I think it might actually start on the 19th. But there you'll hear about a lot of different topics from our team, including spatial web mapping, auto-scaling on OpenStack with Heat, and more. We actually have 3 of our evangelists going to that event. So
On top of that, Krrish will be there, and I'll be there as well.
Yep.
So if you want to meet up with us, we'll be there.
Yes, you'll have a great chance to meet a lot of members from our team. Also, in August, we have Midwest JS in Minnesota, where Ryan Jarvinen from our team will be there talking about building apps with JavaScript, and also he will be doing a workshop on full stack mobile with Strong Loop. And then we have a lot of events coming up in September, some big ones, FOSS4G in Oregon, Spring One in Texas, and then PuppetConf in San Francisco. So you can check out our full events calendar at openshift.com/events, and then you can go to each of the event websites and check out the workshops and sessions that OpenShift will be doing. And so again, if you can come to any of these, we would love to see you there. And then the last thing I want to point out is this page on our site called, it's actually openshift.com/email, and it will redirect you to this page, but here you can choose your preferences for the email notifications that we send. You can choose what kind of email you want to receive from us. We have a newsletter coming up in the next few weeks, so if you're not already signed up to receive those, we would love to send you one. So it's easy to, pick your preferences, and you can always change them later if you want, but we just wanted to kind of point out that page in case you weren't aware. And I think that's it for me.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, special plug for the email list. We are a fairly low volume sender, so the highest volume email you're going to get is if you subscribe to blog updates. So every time we have a new blog post update or a blog post, that's a really easy way to get those. So encourage everyone to sign up for that. So over to Krrish. Krrish, tell us a little bit about maybe your background, how you came to Red Hat, and then what are you seeing in the PaaS space these days? What are customers and people you're talking about? What are some of the hot topics there?
Okay. Before I joined Red Hat, I was an industry analyst focused on cloud computing space. So around 2000 or something, I sort of started calling out PaaS to be like the face of IT going forward because uh, cloud sort of empowers the developers and it reduces the time it takes for the idea to turn into code and then to go to production. So I thought like PaaS is going to be change the way enterprises are doing IT. And I was evangelizing for PaaS, even though I was an industry analyst, I was evangelizing for PaaS. Probably that got some people in Red Hat to talk to me, and since I believe in open source, I had no hesitation joining this great organization. And specifically, I want to call out OpenShift. OpenShift, as an industry analyst, I was checking out OpenShift, and the way it was architected, it really attracted me. It is one of the, if I had to sort of wear Steve Jobs hat or something, it is one of the beautifully architected platform I have seen in the industry. So I think everything worked out well. Now I'm part of OpenShift, evangelizing OpenShift, offering thought leadership, and also helping the team with strategy. That's where I am. So when I started looking into cloud computing space in the early 2008, for a long time, like enterprises were considering cloud as an afterthought. They were not like really comfortable moving to cloud, but things started changing slowly in 2010 with the open stack and open source platform as a service offering. Enterprises got more comfortable, and now like enterprises understand that cloud is the basic requirement for their IT, and it also helps them take advantage of the DevOps movement, which is actually making enterprises more agile and more flexible.
Say
So
more
I
about
think
DevOps. Like for people that don't know what DevOps is, it's a term that's thrown around a lot. What exactly does that mean, and what are the benefits that it provides?
okay, DevOps, if you go and open your Twitter stream or just go and listen to people talking about DevOps, if there are 20 people, there will be 21 to 22 different definitions of DevOps. But the one of the commonly accepted way to look at DevOps is more of a cultural change inside the organizations. It's sort of agile development methodologies brought developers and testers and QA people together, and the idea turned into code really fast, but then it hit the wall in the name of operations. So they couldn't take it to production as fast as they could churn out the code. So DevOps is a way to change this cultural problem that exists in the organization and help the code developed by all the application developers go into production much faster. But just cultural change alone will not help if it is not properly aided by proper set of tools. So with cloud and with platform as a service, we are getting the necessary tools to help augment this cultural change. That's why like we are seeing a significant change in the way IT is done in enterprises these days. In fact, even in startups, most of the startups, they start with DevOps as the underlying philosophy for their IT.
So, and at the risk of leading the witness here, would it be fair to say that OpenShift is a pretty good fit for a good tool to help with DevOps?
Yeah, in fact, let me take a step back there and sort of like talk about what are the different DevOps tools out there that helps DevOps. You could approach the DevOps philosophy with IaaS plus approach. That's what organizations like Netflix has done. For organizations of certain scale and certain situations, that helps. But for most enterprises, you don't need that kind of complexity to deal with. So that's where platform as a service comes in and fits very well in the DevOps movement, because with platform as a service, you have a higher level of abstraction. Then, with that kind of abstraction, you could have the same development environment in development, testing, and production. So application deployment environment all through the organization. So the biggest problem in traditional enterprise is the configuration error that caused the tussle between developers and operation. The development environment will have certain configuration. When it goes to testing, it will have totally different configuration. Production is altogether different from what these guys had. So like it caused the trouble, and then the finger pointing came, and developers will say, hey, it worked for us. If it didn't work for operations, it's an operations issue. Operations will say, hey, it is not working, so it is your issue. You have to fix your code. So there was mistrust, and that led to a lot of problems in enterprise. When you have a standardized set of environment across development, testing, and production, you can cut down or at least minimize those errors. That helps augment the DevOps culture. So platform as a service is very good. With the OpenShift in particular, I think it's a much better fit than many of the platforms out there in industry, because we use the cartridge model to loosely couple third-party services to our core platform. Also, the number of components in our core platform is minimum compared to many other platforms out there. So this offers a much better abstraction that helps IT organizations embrace DevOps much more easily. So I would say with the Red Hat on, OpenShift is the best DevOps platform out there.
All right. Thanks for your time today.
Thank you.
Over to Nick. Nick's going to tell us about the latest release of OpenShift and maybe what to look for in the future.
Yeah. Well, first I want to say to Krrish, I love the Atomic shirt. Where do I get one?
I got it from the Atomic team at the summit, so probably you should contact the Atomic team. They might have something.
That's an awesome shirt.
Thanks.
All right. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to be able to show you what we released in June. And June was one of my favorite months here on the OpenShift team because it was a double release month, which means that we had 2 releases line up in the same month. So double whammy there. And let me go ahead and share my screen. So what we'll do is we'll start off with the first post for June, which was the OpenShift Marketplace. We announced that. I went through that on the last Google Hangout. But it's a good place to check out if you want to implement some of the software as a services directly into OpenShift. There's a lot of really great tools in there. We're adding new things to the marketplace every day. So I would highly recommend going to marketplace.redhat.com and checking out what's available. We also added some team membership functionality into the June release of OpenShift Online, making it even easier to collaborate with some of the members on your team who are working on the same code base. So that was very exciting as well. As for the second release of the OpenShift Online in June, we announced the OpenShift Annual Plan. Now, this was a big shift for us, and pun intended, in OpenShift because typically you've had to subscribe to one of our plans and pay monthly. The OpenShift Annual Plan takes that and basically allows you to pay for a year's worth of OpenShift Online up front in a way that's pretty familiar with a lot of existing Red Hat customers as well as even new Red Hat customers. So we can you get access to 15 large gears. You get premium. You get better support. You also get access to all large gears and JBoss EAP as well. So that's some really good value there. Another big feature that we added in the late release of OpenShift Online in June is the RHC add server command. This I was personally very excited about because we got to typically customers or people who have had to work in multiple OpenShift environments, being either OpenShift Enterprise and OpenShift Online, or even internally here working between the OpenShift Dev instance and my OpenShift Online instance, it's always been difficult to manage my different RHC profiles. Well, not anymore thanks to this command added in by our engineering team. This add server command right here will allow me to add different environments into my RHC command or my RHC profile. So now it's even easier for me to switch between an online environment, a development environment, and then even a production environment. So besides those 2 big announcements, we also added some support for PHP Composer Dependency Manager, as well as a new status page. We've made the Apache status page configurable and updated and improved document and README files. So again, what Alexa pointed out earlier, if you want to get the latest updates, I would suggest going to that form that she sent out, and we'll include it in the description below to be able to get updates on when these release blogs and other really useful blogs are released. And then that's it. That's all I have for this one. That'll bring this Google Hangout to an end. So thank you very much for joining, and we hope to see you again very soon.